All right, I think we can get started. And today specifically is about Tabular Editor, a very strong tool. And what Tabular Editor does is it connects to your underlying model, not the report, but your model itself, so that you can, if there are any certain scenarios or situation where you have to make certain amendments to your model, Tabular Editor is very strong to help you optimize and clean your model altogether. Okay, so one of the mindset shift I want to do with all of you here is that before we add anything to an existing model, our understanding should be like before we add anything, we should delete. Okay, some of the senior folks I have always worked with, they always have a delete first thinking. Okay, not what should I build first. Let's just first delete what really does not need to exist in this model. Okay, so for example, I'll give you a couple of scenarios before we move to tabular editor. So there could be multiple things like duplicate names, like multiple measures. There could be cases where to create measures or to create variables or constants, people do create another measure itself, which is not really needed, right? You can create a variable inside a measure, but people create different constants altogether as a separate measure. So not really needed, right? And then there could be dead measures or test measures, which could be something which we do really want to avoid here. So now for all of this, one of the things we should be taking care of or we should be knowing is tabular editor. So once, and like I said, I'll share you the links. It's a very quick and easy way to just download and install it. It's a very small tool, but very powerful. And once it is installed, you should be able to see here in the external tools section of your top ribbon. And once you click on it, what this will does is it will use the same model which you are owning here on Power screen side. And right here, it's gonna show you all the various artifacts inside your model, like the relationships, tables, translations. Let me maximize this. So all the tables which you see here, that will be seen the local language which you have been using in your model, relationships, everything is stored right here, right? And it has a in the inside its canvas, it has an expression editor, so you can write text here to make amendments to your model. We can write C sharp script, etc. But the question here is, why do we really need this? Like, if we already have everything in Power BI Desktop where it's a plug and play UI, you can just drag and drop everything. Why do we really need this, right? So one of the things I'll show you here is how strong it is in. So I don't use everything inside Tabular Editor. Okay, there are certain things which I will be telling you, which I personally use to remediate certain issues. So if you see at the bottom of the tabular, you will see it says 506 BP issues. So here BP basically means best practices. So behind tabulator, it has a analyzer tool which is called best practice analyzer. Okay. So what this really does is it has certain scripts written which are like standard Microsoft standard formattings and backend modeling scripts which it runs in on top of all the models which are trying to connect here, and it will give you all the errors or issues which it is able to identify. Okay, so we'll see how this can help us. But if you see here, we have all these table, but when we work on model like this, there are cases where that you might be having additional tables as well which you might not know, but they are available in your model, and I can quickly show you how. So right now you can see there are around 8 to 10 tables, right, in your model, but these might not be all the tables, right? There could be some hidden tables as well, and I can quickly show you how. So if you go to view here, click on hidden objects. See, it will basically show you certain hidden date tables which are already created. And these date tables are something which could be causing issues in terms of your model size. Vivek, you have any questions? Oh,
Yes.
sorry, I
Um,
saw. Yeah.
Deepesh, I don't think your screen is not updated. We're
Oh, my
still
screen
on,
is not.
you know,
Oh, thanks for highlighting
yeah,
that.
I think
Let
you're not
me
sharing.
hold on. I'll just quickly go ahead and share again. Okay, it should be coming up now. Let me know when you can see.
It is now. It is now visible. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I'll just cover up some of the important parts again here. So basically, like I said, once we click on Tabular Editor here, it will navigate us to this session of Tabular Editor. So what this basically does is it will take you to all the backend artifacts of your of your model, where it will show you how the underlying relationships are created, how the various tables are stored, what all languages you have used. On the canvas, it shows C sharp script, expression editor, and everything which you can write and make certain amendments to your model. Okay. Now, one of the things I was telling you here is if you see on the bottom of your screen, it says 506 BP issues. So this is what I was referring to. There are certain best practices which should be followed when we are trying to work on a model, right? But we don't really know, or we don't really intend to, cover those areas when we are working on certain set of business requirements. So what this does is it highlights all of those standard practices we should be following so that we can maintain a kind of a checklist before we deliver our final model. Okay. So like I was telling you, in our model, we might be seeing so many tables around here. So like, for example, here I selected around 9 tables, right? But there could be certain hidden tables as well. So if I click on view here, and if I select hidden objects, you will see there are certain hidden date tables which are being created. And there is definitely no functional use for these date tables. These are certain helper queries or helper tables created for some of the date related field or date or timestamp related fields inside your tables. But what it really does is it actually creates and keeps on adding up space and additional layer of volume on top of your data model. So this is something we are gonna be working on fixing as well. Let me hide those hidden objects for now so that we can move forward. So one of the things, like I said, which we will be working on best practice, which we'll be working on Tabular Editor is best practice analyzer. So, like I said, I don't really use everything on Tabular Editor, just some of the key things which could be used in our day-to-day reporting, day-to-day development. So, one of those areas here is best practice analyzer. Okay, let me click on it. So once that is up, it will show you a screen like this. Okay. So what this does is, as you can see, it will create, it will show you certain objects. Let me minimize all of this so you can see all the sections. So you see, it has created different objects by performance, DEX expression, maintenance, formatting, lineage, etc. So take a look at the kind of standards it is asking us to follow. Like do not use floating points data types. Consider a star schema instead of snowflake. So when you click on this, it will show you like between these two tables, these two tables are not related in a proper structured star schema, right? Date table should be marked as date table. Because those are not marked as date table, it has created additional hidden tables which we don't really see in Power BI desktop, right? It is saying remove auto date table. This is our hidden configuration in Power BI, which takes up immense amount of space in your system. So I'll be showing you that as well, how we can fix it. But see how some of these hidden tables cause a lot of performance issues. Then it says reduce usage of calculated tables. It says too many calculated tables are created, but again, these are not created by us. These calculated tables are created by Power BI, right? So many of these areas which you see can be fixed by certain practices which we follow. Okay, so this is called best practice analyzer, and not only it does not really just highlights the issues, but it also helps you fix those. So let's say if you click here, right click on it, click on generate fix script, right? So what it does is it will, if you click on this one, our script will be copied, and what you have to do it, you have to just paste it into advanced script editor for review. I can show you quickly how that works. So this is your advanced editor. If you paste here, you see it has automatically created a script for me. So I can, if I want to quickly change certain elements of my model, I can review this checklist here from best practice analyzer. I can copy the script here, and then I can run the script directly. And once I run this script, it will fix up a lot of those issues. So when we work on these things, I also tend to use, are there certain measures which are created which are not referenced by any other, what you can say, any other measure, but are still available in my model? So for those certain measures, we really want to avoid those, right? Like what if there are 10 or 15 additional measures which are not referenced by any other measure, but are just staying in my model without doing any kind of work, right? So that could always happen. So for those, what we can also do is on the same tools, it says manage BPA rules. So once you click on it, it will ask you whether you want to create a new rule within your current model for your system or for your machine or whatnot, right? So let's say I just want to have one more rule for my current model. So I will click on this. I will click on new rule. Let me bring up this pop up on the screen. See, so this is what it will give me, and I can give it a name, something like unused or something like unused measures. Okay, I can give it a severity. I can assign it a category like, okay, this could be something related to performance. It's important to give this description. Trust me, like once you create too many of these rules, it's difficult to understand what is doing what. And then you can write a specific script. Like for example, I follow a very simple script like referenced by dot count equals to 0. Uh, and so this basically takes account whether a specific measure is referenced or not, and also check whether that specific table is is hidden or not. Okay, so let's a very basic expression where it says whether these certain measures which I'm trying to run this script on are they referenced by any specific other measures or not. So if its count is 0, then it should be highlighting that. Okay, so once I click OK, let me, oh, I have not added it properly here. Let me properly escape category. Oh, one more important thing. And that again, if I would have missed it, I might have run into another issue. Now, all of this thing which I'm doing here is on top of measures, right? But see what it says here. Do I really want to apply this to model? I don't want to apply this to my model, right? What I want to do is I want to apply it to measures because I want to run it on top of measures, correct? So once I click OK, a new rule will be created under performance. Let me hit OK here. And when I go to best practice analyzer again, see, there you go. Let me maximize this. I have another unused measures rule created here. And on top of that, I can see there are these many around. So out of those 53 measures which we have seen, 45 measures are there which are not referenced by any other measure. So this is definitely something which we can flag or work on top of it. Like, do we really want to delete this because these are not being referenced anywhere? Do we really want to keep it? Are they certified or not? So that is just one single step, okay? But this is one of the things where, okay, this is a starting point for me to just delete it if this is not needed. But I really want you guys to think like there should be one more question coming to your mind. Okay, I understand these measures are not referenced by any other measure. But what if, for example, this revenue by channel measure, this is being used in a visual in my report. So if I delete it, that visual will start throwing me error, right? So that could happen. So I cannot just directly delete all of these, right? So, okay, now I have a list of 45 measures, but which are not referenced by others. But whether all these 45 measures which I'm seeing, are these measures being referenced in a visual or not? That is also something which is very key and crucial topic, and I will be covering that as well as part of another tool. But before going to that, I just want everyone to ensure whether, when we are working on using external tools like this, we have to be very cautious. Like we do not save everything. So let's say once I work on the, setting up these best practices, adding these calculations and everything, running these scripts here, as soon as you hit save here, right there. As soon as you hit save, these changes will be directly affecting the model, your PBX file. Okay, the PBX file which is open, it will directly reflect those changes to that. Okay, so we have to be very cautious, very cognizant while working on this. That is why before doing this directly in a fraud related report, it's good. It's good and beneficial for us to practice them in a on a testing report or a development report. Okay, so this is one of the key output for us to learn that how we can use best practice analyzer to ensure if there are certain hidden tables or not, if there are certain things which we are not following, and how we can further optimize our model. Okay, so this is something which is non-negotiable. Trust me, guys. Like when we work on this, this is not something which we can just let it go. Okay, uh, yeah, but at least for now, like I said, we don't want to learn everything on on the Deck Studio side or Tabular Editor side. We just have to ensure like we learn and run some of these crucial things which are important for us. Okay, so this best practice analyzer is one of those. Um, yeah. So now that we are working on this and trying to learn some of these things, another thing which is very crucial is let me go back to my Power BI screen. Let me know if there are any questions till this point before we jump back to Power BI. Anyone?
Yes, Devesh. So just one question, like you created one rule, right, for
Yeah,
best practices analyzer. So best practices analyzer is not going to implement anything. It's just trying to tell you the information on what should you do. It is not
correct.
going, like you said, if you save this, it's
Hmm.
not going to, make changes in the model according to the BPA guidelines that are provided over here, right?
Correct. So there are two areas here, Vivek. One is, so these are all those guidelines or all those instructions. Let's say I'm trying to follow certain areas here, whether this should be set to false or not, whether I should consider this as a star schema or not. So some of these things, let's say there are around 40 guidelines or violations it has suggested to us. There are certain things which could be applicable for our model, but it is not able to relate properly. So I can ignore those rules. But could be certain things where, let's say, certain measures are not properly utilized, or there are certain formatting related changes. So some of these formatting related changes, it gives us a fixing script. If you click on or generate this fixing script, you can paste it directly here. And unless you run this script and save Tabular Editor, session here, unless you do these two things, your changes will not be reflected to your Power BI report. If you're just trying to do a hit and try here, just go through those violations or rules, nothing's gonna be impacted on your model. Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for joining.